Hi guys, Justin here. I just got back in last night from Las Vegas, Nevada for the annual 2016 WPPI convention. It was a 6-day event of expo where we had vendors from who support our photography industry. There were keynote speakers from all types of disciplines in photography, different genres and categories of work. The topics range from photography business to the technique to philosophy to all sorts of topics covering things that motivate photographers and inspire them to create art and the tools that they need to do those types of work that they would like to do. It was a really eye-opening experience. My second time attending. I went with a friend this year. Last year, I went with my dad, and I went there rather doe-eyed and wide-eyed, and not really sure what to expect, and kind of clinging to people who I knew to kind of lead me around and show me what it was all about and introduce me to people. As a photographer going there for the first time, it can be a little daunting trying to get a handle on the experience. It's so big. Like there's two huge expo halls filled with vendors from all respects, all aspects of the business, ranging from products to services to the actual cameras and lenses and lighting equipment that we use. And every booth has keynote speakers there who are leaders in our industry and do amazing work. And if you go there with an open mind and wanting to learn, you're going to walk away completely satisfied. There's just so much opportunity there to acquire knowledge and learn about new techniques and processes, and really be on the forefront of our industry and see what our industry is all about. It was my second time going this year, and I really went in there with the mission of meeting other photographers who are leaders in our industry, people who I respect and look up to, people who have been doing this for a long time and do incredible work. And I just really wanted to soak up their knowledge and take in any wisdom they had for me on my journey in photography as a career. And right off the bat, we bumped into Pi and Justin Lin. They run the really popular photography website. It's slrlounge.com. You may have heard of them. Their work is incredible. They run a huge photography operation. They both are the face of the company, and they shoot amazing wedding work. You definitely check them out. But they not only that, they are gracious, really cool guys who are genuinely friendly and welcoming, and they really want to pass on information to photographers and help them be better at their craft. And that's the type of photographer those are the type of photographers that I really look up to, people who share information and love passing it down to other people who want to learn. So right off the bat, we bumped into them and the other SLR Lounge guys. Trevor Daly was there. Andy Kauth from Sunshine and Rain, him and his wife Amy do photography in the Phoenix area. Trevor's also in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area. They're really nice guys, and everybody was very friendly and welcoming. And we didn't even make it to the opening party because we ended up standing in the lobby of the MGM just talking about photography. So right off the bat, it was just a great experience meeting these people. It didn't even bother me that I didn't make it into the opening party, because as far as I was concerned, I got to meet the people that I wanted to talk to anyway. And that was within 10 minutes of arriving at the hotel and getting checked in. So the next couple days were spent attending classes, listening to keynote speakers, and going to the expo. I had a great time at the expo. There's just so much stuff to see. I mentioned earlier. I found some products that I'm really excited about, some services that I think are going to be really beneficial to my business to help me grow and make things easier for me. And I want to share those things with you guys today. So right off the bat, I want to talk about a product that I bought that I think will help photographers, and it's already popular. They don't need any assistance from me to talk about the product, but I'm looking forward to trying this out, and it's a pretty cool product. It's called the Hold Fast Moneymaker, and I bought this at their booth from their owner Matthew Swaggart, and he's the originator. He created this company and this product. It's all handmade, fine crafted leather, and this one in particular is called the Moneymaker. It is a dual strap system that allows me to attach my cameras to it, and it's got this really heavy duty clip and a fastening system, so I can pull this clip out This attaches to the base of the camera. You slip it through here, and then you got to pull the safety pin back and lock it in place. It's not going anywhere. And if it were to go anywhere, you also have a backup clip that attaches to the corner of your camera. And so should you lose your attachment with this, you still have this as a safety. So it's a very secure system. I trust my cameras on it. Not only that, it alleviates a lot of that back pain you might have on a wedding day or a long shoot. So it straps through your arms, over your shoulders, and it forms an X on your back. And the cameras hang right at your sides, and it's a neat way to keep your cameras tight to your body. I've used other systems like this, like the Black Rapid, their double strap system, and I found it to be too long and it would get away from me. The cameras would clank together in the front, and it just wasn't a good system to use. Some people like it. It's got a soft neoprene shoulder padding, but I didn't think it was a very effective system. My cameras were too dangly. This system keeps it very tight to my side, right where I need to access it from, and I think it's going to be really beneficial to my wedding day workflow. Not only that, it's a really handsome product. I mean, look at this leather. It's pretty stylish. So I might just wear this out and about without even any cameras attached to it. It's that good looking. My girlfriend thought it was a little S&M-ish. She was wondering what I was doing buying leather straps at a photography convention. So yeah, maybe later. Another product that I picked up while at WPPI was MagMod. You might be familiar with their products. They make light modifiers for small camera flashes, speed lights. It's a magnetic. It's a system of silicone grips that go over the head of your flash. They have strong, powerful earth magnets inside them, and then you attach your accessories to it via this magnetic grip system. But one thing that they did recently is they have a system of gels that go into an insert, a gel grip a gel holder that goes on top of the gel, on top of the grip, and previously these gels were unlabeled, and so the big deal now is that all the gels now specify what the type of gel is, and it was really confusing. Well, obviously I know what's yellow, what's orange, what's red, but when you use or when you use corrective gels, there are varying degrees of strength. So you might have a quarter power CTO orange, which is a correcting temperature orange for when you want to balance with tungsten light, like incandescent bulbs, your conventional indoor lighting. And you could have a quarter CTO, half CTO, full CTO. And while you would think you might be able to discern the difference between the varying strengths of orange in the gel, it was a little tough to tell in low light. So now they're labeled. You can read them very clearly, and you'll see right on the gel what it says on the top here, and so they're easier to spot out, and photographers are going to have a lot easier job correcting their light, their color temperature on their flashes. So that was a new release from MagMod. They also have a new product called the Mag Beam that they just started a Kickstarter for. And they also have a gobo that basically it's a small piece of stainless steel that's etched with designs in it, and it goes over the. If you condense the mag beam down, you can stick that in there, and with a lens, I believe. And when you shoot light through it, it casts a pattern on the wall or your subjects. You can do all kinds of things. There's a slit, there's like a starburst, there's all kinds of different patterns that they have. And the other device is the mag beam, which is a Fresnel lens that's telescopic. You can actually extend out the mag beam three different steps out or in, and it'll concentrate the light beam in a very tight power. It's the only modifier I know of that actually concentrates the efficiency of the light. So instead of losing a light stop, you can actually gain some light power from your small flashes. And the light fall off is very hard. It's super spotlighty, more so than the grids. Grids still have kind of a fuzzy light fall off compared to the Fresnel lens on the mag beam. It's really distinct. Like it's like a spotlight from a stage light in a theater production. So I also wanted to talk about another product service that I think is really going to benefit photographers, and I was so excited when I met the owner of the company, the co-founder. His name is Dan. He gave me a presentation on this service. It's called Pic Press, and the website is www.picpress.com. And what I really like about this service is it's going to make my blogging so much easier. I don't know how you guys feel about blogging your images on your WordPress sites or however you're handling your blog, but I have a real hard time getting my blogs up in a timely manner. I'm guilty of being behind 2 years on my blogging right now, and I really want to get on top of it. And this service is called picpress.com, and what it does is you take a folder of images and you import them into the program. It's a standalone program. You can drag and drop your images into the work area in the workspace, and it will auto-populate a template of diptychs or triptychs, and you set the parameters for it. You can set how wide you want the column to be. You can set border size, border color, interior border color. It's a really neat and easy way to manage your images and your collages for your blog. And not only that, once you get the pictures in there, you can change the templates up. You can move the images from frame to frame. You can pick where you want the photos to be, what size they are. You can play with it. It's really customizable. It's super simple. I used to do it in Photoshop with a plugin called Diptych, and it was widely inefficient. You had to import your pictures, and it would build up a PSD file, photo by photo, as you added rows and columns to it, and then you would save your final output as one image. It was a huge pain. But with Pic Press, I can import those photos into there, mess around with them in the template. Then it also has SEO tools where I can go in and add alt tags for each image, and it will export the entire thing to your WordPress blog with the press of a button. So I don't know if you know anything about WordPress. That's huge. And not only that, not only is it exporting everything to your WordPress blog, every image is a standalone image in your blog entry. It's not, when I made them on Photoshop, my collage could have 8 images in it. It registered as one image. But now I could have 50 images uploaded to that blog post, and they are all standalone images. And why this is important with your SEO is that if you properly name each file with relative keywords to your search terms that you want to register high for, like for example, I want to register high for Tucson wedding photographers. If you have every file name appropriately named Tucson wedding photographers with underscores in there, and maybe the name of your bride and groom and the venue, you then upload all your images, and now I've got 50 images all keyworded in the title name. That affects my SEO. So if I had the venue name in there, you could search up, like, say I worked at the Stillwell House here in Tucson, Arizona, and I put Stillwell House in the name of every image, they'll populate the search results for Stillwell House in the Google Images section when you do your image search. So why it's key that I'm getting all these individual images is that 50 images is better than 5 collages I was uploading before as single images that had multiple images in them. So the more photos you have with the proper file naming, the more you will affect your SEO results for all those images being in your blog entry. Blogging is key, having those photos properly named is key, and getting them all online is key for your SEO. So this tool is not only going to help out getting my blog entries up, it's going to help with my SEO because I'll be able to have so many more images in my collages on my site as individual images. It's a really cool product. I signed up, I believe it's $60 a year. I got in with a WPPI special. I'm not sure if it's still running, but you can give me a message and I can find the coupon code for it. The service is great. I was so excited that when the owner showed it to me, I looked at him in the face and I wanted to slap him because he blew my mind. I told him, get the hell out of here. You just blew my mind. Take my money. I'm not leaving here until you sign me up. So he pulled out his laptop. He had an internet connection. I signed up right there on the spot because I was not going to leave the expo without signing up for that service. Otherwise, I was going to forget about it when I got home. So check it out. It's picpress.com. It's a really cool service. I think it's gonna change how you blog. And if you're not a consistent blogger, you're gonna blog so much more now. So I can't wait to get started with that service. And the last thing I wanted to talk about the product that I saw that blew my mind was the palette. The palette is a modular system of sliders and buttons to allow you to emulate the workspace of Lightroom, and everything every slider can be programmed to work with a corresponding slider on Lightroom, and the buttons also there's buttons and dials and sliders, and you can also use the buttons to. It's modular. It's magnetic. You can click and snap and move it around and rearrange it to your liking, and I can't remember what the kits are. There's a basic kit, an advanced kit, and they come with varying amounts of sliders. And you can always buy more sliders later in the future. But you can take, like, for example, I think the Expert kit has 3 sliders, 4 sliders, of 3 knobs, three dials, and a couple buttons. And so what I could do is I could have one slider correspond to exposure, one slider correspond to contrast, and one slider correspond to highlights, one to shadows. Say I'd like for those 4 sliders to affect another setting on Lightroom. There, you could program one of the buttons to, when you press it, you could have it switch all 4 of those sliders to a corresponding set of other sliders, maybe sharpness, grain, noise reduction, the color slider for noise reduction. You can actually use that button to help cycle through the alternate settings of those sliders. So while you only have 4 sliders, with the multiple button combination presses of those buttons, you could essentially cycle through and assign those 4 sliders to every set of sliders on Lightroom. Same with the dials, and I find that this system is really beneficial because it's a tactile response. I played with it. If you have the slider in the center, it's going to register 0. And when I move it all the way to the left, you get negative 100. All the way to the right, 100. You can, and every varying degree in between. So as I move the slider left and right, it's registering on the screen and the corresponding point on the slider that you're working with. So I think this is going to change how I work my post-processing, because I don't know how you guys feel about Lightroom and all the sliders. It's really it's all reliant on the mouse. I think this will be a really great way to move through my key settings quickly, the ones that I mess with the most. So mostly I'm working in presets, but I'm also mostly changing just the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, whites, and blacks. Those are the things I play with the most. So I think the palette system is going to be a quick way of editing your most commonly affected settings. It's eliminating some of that barrier to access. I don't like scrolling through that never-ending panel of sliders that we have in Lightroom. I'd love to be able to just go to something very quickly and instantly by using those sliders physically. So it's a really cool product. The website is palettegear.com, and right now they're not in stock. They are behind schedule with some production, and I heard the earliest we're gonna see the product available for order will be in June. But you can pre-order right now. And the pre-orders will be fulfilled before the regular orders do. So right now, I've heard there was about 2,000 people who own them right now, and the number is going to keep growing. But you could be one of the few people who actually own this product and get to use it for their work every day before other people catch on to it. But right now, it's still an early product, early in its age. It used to be a Kickstarter program, campaign, and now all the early adopters have their product out, but it's still on pre-order because they're out of stock. So I'm excited for that product. I'm going to try to get my hands on one as soon as possible. I tried to pay the guy running the booth to give me one on the spot, but it wasn't successful. He wouldn't take the money in my wallet. So unfortunately, I came home empty-handed with the palette, and that really drove me crazy because I'd like to be using it right now as I have a lot of weddings to edit. One other service that I want to mention that I was looking for help with when I got to WPPI. I'm really looking to find a service that can work with my best images and for beauty retouching. And I'm going to be getting a phone call next week from one of the retouchers at primeedits.com. And the service, the way it's going to work is, I think for about $5 an image, I'm going to be able to send a photo that these are going to be images that I want to use in my portfolio, and I can send them an image, and with a little bit of coaching and consultation from the editor, we can work on a plan to address the image in the way that I want edited. So I want to get rid of blemishes. I want to get rid of bad skin, touch it up, smooth it up, give it a real polished beauty look. And one thing that I really struggle with is frequency separation in Photoshop. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the process, but it involves a few techniques of creating some layers where you're affecting only the skin tones or only the blemishes texture. And it's it's painstaking, it takes a lot of time, and I'm just not very good at it. And I'm willing to admit that I have a weakness in that area, and I would love to get a great image, a real polished professional image. And I think Prime Edit's service is going to get me there. So I'm looking forward to checking out the service here in the next week. I've got some free credits through a referral code that I got at the convention, and they're going to be working with me here pretty soon. So when I get some images back, I'll be happy to share people the before and after, and share the results and see how it looks. So I think it's going to come out really good. They had a pretty cool presentation and a good looking booth, and some of the work they showed on display was pretty cool looking. So I'll be sharing that shortly. So that about wraps it up for the services and devices I wanted to share with you guys that I bought from WPPI that I think are going to really help my photography and my workflow. If you have any questions about it, feel free to message me. You can contact me on facebook.com/JustinPhotos. And you can also reach me on Instagram. You can follow me there. It's Justin_Haugen_photography. And my last name is spelled Haugen. And you can also follow me on my website at justinhaugen.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. Have a good day.